dx, dy over dx will give us dy over dx, which is what we were told to calculate, is the product of du over dx multiplied by dy over du. That's the step involving what? Function of a function rule or chain rule. So dy over dx is equal to the first guy, which is du over dx, multiplied by the second guy, which is dy over du. So dy over what now? Du. So that's the step. So what do we simply do? Watch this. Du over dx, which is this, is equals to 2. So you have 2 times dy over du. See it here. That's the second part. 10u raised to the power 9. 10u raised to the power of 9. So when we multiply together, we have 2 times 10 raised to the power of 9 will give us 20u raised to the power of what? Of 9. So finally, we could say that our dy over dx, watch this carefully. Don't forget we have 20u raised to the power of 9, okay? Is 20u raised to the power of 9. But what's the value for u? Remember, u is 2x plus 1. So that will give us 20 brackets, okay? Now, u is 2x plus 1. So our dy over ds finally will give us what? 20 u raised to the power 9. The u is 2x plus 1. So you have 2x plus 1 all raised to the power of what? 9. Do you see it now? Yes, it's very easy. Now there's a shortcut you can use to solve this particular problem. If you are a student preparing for JAMB exam, okay, where the steps does not necessarily matter, what do you have to do? Very easy. Take a look at this question again. We have y equals to 2x plus 1 raised to the power of 10. Now here is the shortcut. The shortcut is easy. Look at it. Differentiate 2x plus 1. Everything here will give you what? Will give you 2. Because this 2x will give you 2. 1 will give you 0. So everything here will give us 2. And if you have 2, multiply with this 10. That will give you 20. So you write it down. dy over ds is equals to 20. Bring this bracket back. 2x plus 1. Remove 1 from this one, you get 9. This is the shortcut to the question. Now let's simply take the second question, okay? Let's take the second question. Y equals to 5, open bracket, 2x cubed minus 1, all raised to the power of 5. Following the same procedure. Remember I told you, you remove this and put a letter u. When you do that, u becomes equals to what? 2x cubed minus 1. And that gives us equation what? Equation 1. Do you understand? Then, your y now will no longer be 5 bracket 2x cubed minus 1 raised to the power 5. Your y becomes equals to 5u, because everything here now is u raised to the power of what? 5. And that gives us equation 18, equation 2. So what do we do? Now watch this. From equation 1, from this one, you call it du over dx. So du over dx is equals to, watch this carefully. If I differentiate this one, I will use 3 to times 2 to give me 6x. Then I'll remove 1 from the power. It becomes 2. Know that this one will always give us 0, okay? So that's it. So from equation 2, you have 5u raised to the power of 5. So this will give us dy over du. So you have dy over du is equals to, use this 5 to multiply. Okay, that will give us 25u. Remove 1 from the power. That will give us waiting 4. Now, our dy over ds that we are told to find is a product of du over ds times dy over du. So that will give us du over dx times dy over du. Let's do that quickly. What's du over dx? Yeah, 6x squared times dy over du is what? 25u raised to the power of what? 4. So what would that give us now? 6x squared times 25 raised to the power of 4. 6 times 25, 25 times 6, 30 put down 0, carry 3. 12 plus this will give us 150. So you have 150x squared, then u raised to the power of 4. Do you get? 6 times 25 is 150. Then you have x squared. You have u to the power of 4. So what do we have now? We have that dy over dx is equals to 150x squared u raised to the power of what? Over 4. So don't forget what your u is. You can simply say but u is what? What's the value for u? 2x cubed minus 1. 2x cubed minus 1. So what would that give us now? Dy over ds will give us 150x squared. Now, in place of this u, we are going to put this. So you have 2x cubed minus 1 raised to the power of what? 4. That becomes the answer to the word question. Now, I'm going to give you a shortcut to this problem before we take questions from JAMB, WAEC, and NECO examination. Okay? Now, let's do that. Bro, you don't have to waste your time in this question. If you be student with the right JAMB, you know that the steps in solving this question do not necessarily matter. What matters most is that you get the answer to the question. So how do you do this? Very easy. See, this guy with the inside, you differentiate it. As you differentiate this guy, you have 6x squared. This one will always give you 0. So if you have 6x squared, this 5 is already there before. Use that 6x squared. Like, if you differentiate everything here now, you have 6x squared. This 5 was there. You multiply with 5. Then this one, you multiply with this one too. So that will give us what? 150x squared. This 150x squared is all you need. You simply write 150x squared. You bring the bracket back. You have 2x cubed minus 1. Remove 1 from the power. You have weighting at 4. Do you get? So this is the answer to the question. Now we are going to take questions from JAMB, WAEC, and NECO. Let's do that quickly. Okay? Now let's take this JAMB question. UME 2008, number 38 question. If you have this question, how will you solve it? See, I've told you before, you can use a shortcut to solve it without stressing yourself. But let's solve it first with the normal method, then I'll show you how you can use the shortcut to get your answer. First of all, I told you, u is equals to everything here. So you have 2x cubed plus 2x squared plus 1. Yes, and we'll call it equation what? Equation 1. You get? Then y becomes u raised to the power of 4 because everything here is u. So you have y equals to u raised to the power of weighting 4, and we'll call it equation weighting, equation 2. Then what do we have to do? We'll differentiate equation 1, differentiate equation 2. Then we multiply it together, and that becomes the answer to the question. So let's do it now. Here now, this one now, from equation 1, from 1 now, this number 1 is u and x. So we'll call it du over what? Dx. So differentiate 2x cubed. Use 3 to multiply. You have 6. Remove 1 from here. You have 6x squared. This one, use 2 to multiply. You have 4. Remove 1 from here. You have 4x to the power 1. The same thing as what? 4. So no need to put it. Okay? 1 will always give you 0. So forget about it. You have this. Then from equation 2 now, from equation 2, this is y, this is u. So we call it dy over what? Du. Let's differentiate it quickly. 4 times this u will give us 4u. You common 1 from here, you get weighting 3. I've told you before, go back to my previous video to learn how to differentiate. Okay? Now, watch this. We'll bring this guy and multiply with this so that our dy over ds, which is equals to the first guy, dy over ds, multiplied by the second guy, dy over du. So that will give us weighting. Let's times it together. Times this and this. It will give you 6x squared plus 4x in a bracket multiplied by 4u raised to the power of what? 3. So it's quite very easy. This will give us 6x squared plus 4x in bracket 4u raised to the power of what? 3. So that's what we have. So very easy. Remember that u is this. So we simply carry this and put it here so that your dy over dx will be equals to what? Remember, we have 6x squared plus 4x together, then you have 4u raised to the power of 3. Remember, say u is equals to what? 2x squared cubed plus 2x squared plus 1. So what do we do now? In place of u, we put u here. So you have 6x squared plus 4x. Okay. Then this is 4. U is what? 2x cubed plus 2x squared plus 1. All raised to the power of what here? 3. Did you get? So this 4, you can take it out so that you have 4. Okay. Open bracket 6x squared plus 4x in the first bracket, then you have 2x cubed plus 2x squared plus 1, all raised to the power of what? 3. So this becomes the answer. Did you get? Now let me show you the shortcut. The shortcut is very easy. See, if I have y equals to 2x cubed plus 2x squared plus 1, all raised to the power of 4. I've told you what to do. Watch this now. Differentiate everything here. This one now will give us, multiply, you have 6x squared. This one will give us 4x. Did you get? So whatever you have, use your 4 to multiply it. So you have 4 bracket 6x squared plus 4x. Did you get, Abi? Then bring the brackets, come back again, which is what? 2x cubed plus 2x squared plus 1. Then remove 1 from there, it becomes waiting 3. This is the answer to the question. Now let's take another tricky question again. Now let's take another question. Now, this question came out in UNE, that's JAMB exam, in 1998 as number 38. And came out also in NECO exam 2017 as number 16. Now let us solve this question together. Take a look at this. Y equals to 243, open bracket, 4x plus 5, all to the power of what? Minus 2. I've told you what to do. You simply say u is equals to everything here. So 4s plus 5. Did you get? So your y now will no longer be 243 bracket 4s plus 5 raised to the power minus 2. Your y will now become what? 243. Remember that this one becomes u. So u raised to the power of what? Minus 2. And we call this equation 1. Why we call this equation what? Equation 2. If y is equals to this, find dy over ds at s equals to what? 1. Meaning when you are done differentiating, substitute x as 1 to get your final answer. So in this question now, let's do it quickly. U and x, we'll call it du over dx. That's from equation 1. So d over ds now, I've told you how to differentiate before. Differentiate 4s, it will always give you 4. This one does not contain s, is a constant, it will be 0. So everything here will give us waiting 4, comma. This one, y and u, is called du over dx, dy over du. So you have dy over du, y and u, equals to minus 2. Use it to multiply this. You know you always use the power to multiply whatever is here. So minus 2 times this will give us what? This will give us minus 4. This will give us 8. This will give us 6. Are we together? Then u raised to the power of minus 2. You remove 1 from here. Don't forget, if you use the power to multiply, you remove 1 from the power. So that will give us minus 3. Because minus 2 minus the 1 is minus 3. So what do we simply do? Our dy over ds now, that we are looking for, is simply to multiply du over ds by this. So you have 4 times minus 4, 8, 6. Are we together? Yes. U raised to the power of minus 3. So what would that give us? Okay, let's do it. 4 multiplied by 4, 8, 6 will give us minus 1, 9, 4, 4, u raised to the power of minus 3. Do you get? So this is what we have now. Let's finish it. You have dy over dx equals to minus 1, 9, 4, 4 u raised to the power of minus 3. But what is the value for u? but u is equals to 4s plus 5. So you have 4s plus 5 as the value for u. So put it here. Our dy over dx will give us minus 1944. Then in place of this u, you have 4x plus 5 raised to the power minus 3. So you have 4x plus 5 raised to the power of minus 3. So our final answer actually is minus 1944 bracket 4x plus 5 raised to the power of minus 3. You get? But now they said that s is equals to what? 1. So that means we'll say but x is equals to 1. Anywhere we see x, we put what? 1. So what would that give us now? Minus 1944 bracket 4 bracket 1 plus 5 all raised to the power of minus 3. So that will give us minus 1944 bracket 4 times 1 will give us 4. Okay, plus 5 will give us 9 raised to the power of minus 3. Remember the laws of indices. In indices, if I have x to the power minus 3, to remove this minus become a over x raised to the power 3. Yes, so that this becomes the denominator to remove the minus sign. Yes, so we'll do that here. We'll simply have minus 1944, are we together, all over 9 raised to the power of what? 3. So what's 9 raised to the power of 3? 9 raised to the power of 3 means 9 times 9 times 9. Okay, you have 729. So that will give us minus 1944 over 729. Let's divide it quickly. That will simply give us minus 8 over 3. This is the answer to the question, minus 8 over 3. So the answer is not this, it's not this, it's not this. The answer is what? A. So we have come to the end of today's video lesson. Please send your answers. Take a look at this. Do this and send your answers in the comment section. Differentiate with reference to x. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Differentiate it, okay? If you cannot answer it, I will correct you there, okay? Thank you very much. I'll see you in my next video lesson. In today's class, I'm going to be teaching you differentiation. We are taking the second part of differentiation in today's lesson. And the topic for today is function of a function what? Rule. Now, your function of a function rule is also referred to as chain rule. Yeah, it is also called chain rule. Now, function of a function rule comes into play when you have a derivative of multiple powers. For instance, if I have a question like this in my exam, in my forthcoming exam, I have y equals to 2x plus 1 all raised to the power of 2. For instance, if I'm told that y is 2x plus 1 all raised to the power of 2, and I am told to find dy over dx, find dy over dx. If y is equals to this, how do you differentiate this? This is quite very easy. Why? Because the power of this variable is raised to the power of what? 2. We can simply expand this by simply doing 2x plus 1 in one bracket. Then we also have 2x plus 1 in the other bracket. Why? Because the power here is what? 2. So if we expand this, we have 2x times 2x. That will give us 4x squared. 2x times 1 will give us 2x. Then 1 times 2x will give us 2x. 1 times 1 will give us 1. So we can simply say that we have 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Yes, we can simply say this. Now, what did I just do? I just expand this bracket to form this. So I can tell you that y is equals to 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Then if I'm able to expand to this extent, I can simply get my dy over dx. Please, if you don't know how to differentiate, okay, make sure you go back to my previous video on differentiation, on general principle differentiation. I'm going to post the link in the comment section of this video so you learn the general principles of differentiation before coming to the part 2 of this video lesson, which is called function of a function rule, or what we call the chain rule. Now, how do you differentiate this? Very easy. We are going to get, now to differentiate, use your 2 to multiply this. You have 8x. Then you remove 1 from the power, so you have 8x raised to the power of 1. The power of x here is what? 1. Use to multiply this, you have 4x. Then remove 1 from the power of x, that will give us what? 0. Then this one is a constant. The derivative of a constant will always give you 0. So you have dy over ds equals to 8x plus x to the power of 0 is 1 times 4 will give us 4. So this becomes our derivative. Now this is very easy because the power here is 2. Now there come cases where you have y equals to 2x plus 1 all raised to the power of 10. Now if I have a problem like this, I bet you before you can expand this to differentiate it, you must have exhausted all your time in the exam. So when you have powers up to this number, or maybe up to 4, 5, 6, 7 thereabout, the rule to apply in such problem when differentiating them is your what? Your function of a function rule, or what we call the chain rule. So if I have raised to the power of 2, it is easy for me to expand it, then differentiate it. But in a case such as this, it is quite very difficult. So that is why this lesson is very important. Now, if today is your first time for coming across my YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe to this channel and also on your notification bell so that whenever we post video online, it will get across to you. Now, let's dive into today's lesson proper. We are looking at what we call function of a function rule. Now, let me show you how function of a function rule is used to solve problems such as this, or solving problem such as 5 bracket 2x cubed minus 1 raised to the power of 5. Cases like this where you have powers that are what? Huge. Okay, let's do that quickly. Now let's take this question. Let's use function of a function rule or the chain rule to solve this particular question. The question says that y is equals to 2x plus 1 raised to the power of 10. Yes, that's what it says. Okay, find what? Find dy over what? dx. Very easy. How do you find the derivative of y with respect to x? Very easy. Let's use the chain rule. This is what you have to do. First of all, you introduce another variable which could either be u, z, or any alphabet of your choice. But most times you have u being common, so let us use u. We simply say let u be equals to everything here. So u will be 2x plus 1. Yes. So u is 2x plus 1. Then we can call it equation 1. Yes. Now if everything here is your u, it means that your y will no longer be 2x plus 1 raised to the power of 10. Your y will be what? Will be u raised to the power of what? 10. And we call that equation what? Equation 2. Did you see? Let me repeat myself again. You remove everything here and you call it u. You can still use z. You can use any alphabet of your choice. Okay? But the most common letter there is u. So we can say everything here is what? U. So I can say u is 2x plus 1. So whatever is here becomes your u. Then y becomes u. Since this is u, raised to the power of whatever is here. And that's why we have something like this. So how do we differentiate it? Very easy. We are going to differentiate it one after the other. Then we multiply together. Now let's do it, class. Look at this. You have from equation 1, from 1. Now, from this equation 1, what we have here is u and x. So we call it du over what? dx. So let's differentiate it. I've told you how to differentiate before. The power of x here is 1. So 1 times 2 will give us 2 If you remove it from the power, you get what? 2. So you have 2 here. This will always give us 0 because it's a constant. Is that clear? So whenever you have 8x, after differentiating, you have 8. 9x will give us 9. 10x will give us 10. X will give us 1 because the coefficient of x here is 1. So 2x plus 1, this will give us 2, here will give us 0, so you have 2, comma, from equation 2. From equation 2, what do we call the derivative? It's called dy over ds, okay? So dy over du, because what we have here is y and u. So that will give us waiting. Use 10 to times u, you have 10u, then you remove 1 from the 10, you have raised to the power of 9. Wow. So it's quite very easy. You differentiate equation 1, you differentiate equation 2. Don't forget you are told to find dy over ds. Your dy over ds that you were told to find is equals to, watch this, the first